I say peace and blessings to everyone. When you say good morning, I want to say Bakaj Hawab, which is the morning is good in ancient Hebrew. I want to say Shalom Lak, Mash Pakah, that is simply a greeting in Hebrew asking, is it well with you, family, in ancient Hebrew. I know it's early, and this is the first time that you've ever seen me do an early morning live on YouTube. But I just want to do a quick live as I'm en route, just to talk about, again, what I covered last night about polite. Family, I got some issues with our people. The whole situation with polite raping a 14-year-old girl. And I want to take more time out with actually laying out the facts. Hopefully, I'll have a full report from both sides today. So let me just enlighten you guys, because unfortunately, what we've been institutionalized to doing is error on the side of the perpetrator versus error on the side of the victim. Let me say that again. We've been institutionalized to error on the side of the perpetrator and not error on the side of the victim. What do I mean by that? Well, in slavery, we were always taught no matter what master do, we have to protect master. You know, our ancestors have to protect the master who is raping and buck breaking the men and, raping the women and, raping the children and also using them for alligator bait, cutting the bellies of the stomachs of women that was pregnant just to see the fetus come from inside and see how long that fetus can last, just doing all kinds of things, or laying her inside her pregnant womb, because they want to punish her, so they'll dig a hole in the ground and lay her into that ground so her stomach fits inside that ground, so that way they won't damage or kill the seed. But we've been institutionalized through this system to protect the perpetrator, to err on the side of the perpetrator, and victimize the victim. That's what's taken place. That's what religion has done to our people. We've been through religion. Religion is what teach what is called cognitive dissonance, right? And Stockholm syndrome. Cognitive dissonance simply means contradictory behavior. Stockholm syndrome, the victim protecting the perpetrator. So through Christianity has taught our people, not just Christianity, other religions do the same thing. Many will just point all the fingers to Christianity and Catholicism, but no, also through poor teachings of the text. But we also see that in Islam, we see that in the conscious community, that the people will err on the side of caution for the perpetrator and not the victim. The perpetrator, or should I say the victim, has the pressure on them to basically forgive the perpetrator, that let that perpetrator off the hook. The people will put the pressure on the victim of saying, why do you have to make this public and all these different things? See, that's what happened, and that's the state of where our people is today. Family, we are really sick as a people, and I'm not saying individuals, and I'm not saying this lightly. As a people, we are very sick because we are operating in contradictory behavior. The love that we call ourselves teaching others is what was taught to us by the very people that have raped our people. that kidnapped our ancestors, that did all kinds of heinous things to our people. Those are the very people that we learned how to love, learned how to forgive. Our ancestors were being told or taught how to forgive with the image of the perpetrator before them, this white image or this Caucasian image of a Messiah that did not come from within the community. Some of the comments that I've seen is blaming the mother of this child. Now, let me give you clarity. Tasha K, when she was reading the information, she's reading from two reports. She's reading the statement of Polite when she talks about the club portion of it. But then when she's actually describing the actual heinous act that he did on a 14-year-old girl. So regardless, even if she was illegal, I don't agree with men getting women drunk so they can take advantage of them. You know, that's what happens a lot in college. Young guys getting women drunk, putting stuff inside their drink so that way they can take advantage of them sexually. I don't agree with that. Never did agree with stuff like that. And I call them cowards. I call them predators. I call them sick. For any person that feel like they have to get someone drunk, manipulate their perception, manipulate their decision making, manipulate their you know, how they carry themselves, manipulate them with that controllable substances in order to have your way with them. Now you have women that do that too, but it's not as common as it is for the men. So when you hear the report or Tasha K giving the details, let me tell you it's facts. I did my own research. So what did I do? I got his name, and then I went and looked it up inside the county court records. And yes, there was a case that was filed against Polite, Michael Noack. There was a case filed against him 2 days ago. Now, if you understand the process, especially when you're dealing with rape charges, right? When I pulled up the court case, because there is a court case, a court number, a case number. The charges that he has, the felony is rape of a 14-year-old girl, 14 years. So the charges were, or should I say the case where it was submitted and charges was brought against him on the 17th, right? 2 days ago. So when you understand the process of how they charge or bring charges to a person, they have to do an investigation. Now, the mother's testimony, you have the mother and you also have his testimony. It was Polite's testimony when he gave an account to the police officers, when he gave his account, was that the mother and daughter was having problems. So he took the daughter, he told the mother, supposedly, that he's going to take the daughter to an after party so that way he could talk to her to try to mend the fence of what's going on between the mother and daughter relationship. And mind you, he was in a relationship with her for over a year. She's 31 years old. He's 38 years old. The girl is 14 years old. So this tells you that the mother had her young, right? But anyway, not knocking the mother, because my mother had me and my brothers young, taken advantage of. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion, right? So the Polite's account is that he took her to an after party so that way he can talk to her to mend the relationship. And so taking her to the after party, right? The place was closed. The after party wasn't there, so he took her to the hotel to wait and find out basically where. Now on the mother's account, right? They do a lot of traveling together. So they're in the they are in the hotel, and they're getting something to eat. It was a group of them. So you guys know how hotels are, especially when you're dealing with 5-star hotels, right? They have an area for you to go and eat. They have an area that you can go to eat. They even have restaurants there that are open at a certain time. So Polite convinced the mother to take the daughter downstairs to meet with the rest of the people to get something to eat within the hotel, not to take her daughter out the hotel. No, to eat inside the hotel. The mother and daughter did not have a bad relationship. Let me make that clear. So Polite was supposed to take her downstairs and eat downstairs in that hotel. So what did he do? He disappeared with her. The mother's account is that she got a phone call from Polite stating that he's headed over to the after party with her daughter and for her to meet him there. And she like, what in the world is going on? So the account, the graphic account, which is, oh man, it's nasty, it's disgusting. So Polite takes this daughter, having her believe that the mother's going to meet them at the after party, took her to the hotel and started giving her drinks. That was laced. But just drinks, period. Taking her to a hotel, start getting her drunk, incoherent. And then start dancing and then proceeded, right? She passed out. She wakes up. She says she passed out a couple of times according to the report. Wakes up with him doing, and I'm not even gonna get into the graphics of that. But the last time she woke up, he had his fingers in her throat, trying to make her throw up. Basically all the alcohol that he had given her to make it come out of her system. When he brought her back to the mother. And the mother's account is that Polite told her, don't report it because he can mess up his reputation. But what the mother did, being a mother, took her child directly to the hospital. And they performed a rape kit on her daughter. So the process in that is that they have to have the court send a summons to Polite to go take a DNA test. So that way they can confirm whether or not if anything far as from that perspective occurred, any type of sexual activities occurred. They determined that she was not, how can I put it, her private parts in terms of her, her female reproductive organs was not touched, because I'm trying to be clean, because we're talking about a 14-year-old girl. So, but they did discover that he sodomized her. Well, what is sodomy? See, when you guys think of sodomy, you guys think of anal, right? Anal is part of sodomize, but oral sex, oral intercourse is also part of sodomy, right? So he had oral with her, and they found spots on her shirt of him, from him. So the DNA came back and confirmed that it's his DNA. So how does a 14-year-old girl have a man's spillage on her? A 38-year-old man that's old enough to be her father on her. How does that happen? So when you look at the court case, right? The court case, right, was filed. The charges was filed officially on August 17th. So this is after they had gotten the results back. So the charge of rape is at the top of the list. Felony. A raping 14-year-old girl because they got the proof. If they did not have the proof, the prosecutors would not even have that on there. They'll have, far as him, basically, harm's way. I forgot contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Those would be the charges. But the top of the charge is a felony of rape, sodomizing this 14-year-old girl. And so this conscious community, right? Sinetta, led by Sinetta, and all of those guys connected. Garfield, Unc, all of those guys connected. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, the video is there. It's still there 5 years ago when Sinetta was beefing with Polite. 5 years ago, Sinetta revealed that Polite was dating his cousin's wife. His wife's. Sinetta was revealed that Polite was dating his wife's cousin, and that he did some foul stuff with her daughter, who was 16 years old at the time. She kicked him out, and the daughter ran away to chase after him, which she ended up becoming one of his wives, so-called wives. Sinetta made it clear, this hustler, all of them are hustlers. All of them are hustlers. Sinetta made it clear in that video that he had the receipts on Polite. So that means he's an enabler. Sinetta, you are an enabler, and you are going to be called to the floor too. You're talking about federal. This is going to go beyond, Miami or the state of Florida. This is federal. Because he did this and took her, taking people across state lines. He's doing things across state lines. That's a felony. So Sinetta is an enabler. He said, hey, don't let me pull out the receipts. So he knew of this predatory behavior that's this guy, Michael Nowak operates in. He knows. So family, get off this kick of trying to blame the mother. The mother is not to blame here. So Sinetta is pure evil. All those conscious community guys, they are pure evil. Sodomy, pedophilia, all of that is part of the rituals within the Egyptology, or whatever terms you want to use, their belief system. They push these things. Everyone that supports Sinetta, I don't care whether you are part of the conscious community, from believing in Egyptology to being a Muslim to being a Christian, all of you guys are enablers. All of you guys are enablers. Show me scripture for those that are supposed to be a student in text. Show me the Messiah rolling with the Roman government, rolling with the Roman priests and people from the Romans, rolling with the Greeks, rolling with the Egyptians, rolling with those that don't believe in Torah. Show me the Messiah rolling with those guys. Many of our brothers and sisters are operating in colonization and don't even realize it. Don't even realize it. Don't have a clue. So family, lay off the mother. Lay off the mother. Protect the women. Stop with this thing trying to victimize the perpetrator. He's wrong. We need to start protecting our men, women, and children. But protecting the mothers, protecting those single mothers that are being taken advantage of by these predators, protecting the daughters, protecting the sons, the daughters. We need to start protecting and start fighting. Every person that was connected to Sinetta should be held accountable as being enablers. Every person. I give Zion Lex props for having the courage to speak out against it, to speak out against Sinetta, because he was around Polite. He was around Polite. He was around Sinetta. So he took the stand and saying, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to call it what it is. But here it is, you have Sinetta playing these games 2 days ago where people wanting to know what's going on from his community. He's trying to make money off of it. I got the video. Oh, yeah. Do you guys want me to talk about the Polite situation? Yeah, put money in my Cash App before I do. Because y'all pay, man, these guys are a bunch of losers, man. See, I'm not handcuffed by anyone. I can speak about these things. Why? Because guess what? I make my own resources. I get my own sources. So family, we're going to talk more about this. I got to give it a run. But I just thought I'd take a time out and talk about these things. So again, their response to Tasha K was basically when she went live, they went live and tried to put on this blitz. Polite live on Instagram, and they're live on their channels, and got the people trying to draw attention to them away from Tasha K and trying to give this impression that she's making everything up. No, Polite is a predator. All of them are predators. All of them are nothing but hustlers. So family, we'll talk about this more. I'll deal with it this weekend. Preferably, I have the report, the full report, and we'll go line by line with the report, with me showing you the report on the screen so you can see for yourself. Error on the side of protecting the victim, not the perpetrator. Shalom.